Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Duchess of Unicorn YouTube channel. Today, it's Saturday. I believe it's the 11th. I'm actually not feeling that well today. I wasn't going to do a video, but I thought I came across this little tidbit here. I thought I would share it. It is about almost 8 o'clock on Saturday evening. So I'm on my browser. I'm in the United States, and I'm sharing my browser with you. So I'm not sure if I do that because I'm not sure if you, wherever you are seeing the same thing I'm seeing. Maybe you're seeing ahead of me. Maybe you're behind me. Whatever the case, we're sharing this browser together. Meghan Markle reportedly signs deal with Disney following royal split. Now, I want you just to pay attention. I want you to pay attention to the fact that this article states Meghan signed a deal. It basically eliminates Harry in terms of there is no we and I. So when they say Meghan Markle, singular person, reportedly signs a deal. So at this point, no one knows if whatever money is being generated by Meghan towards Sussex Royal Foundation, again, in terms of a charitable donation or what have you, we don't really see anything that states this is going towards the royals or benefiting all the royals, okay? And we know it's not because she's signing a deal. Okay, so she's going to do a voiceover for Disney. And it says the Duchess of Sussex has partnered with a California-based entertainment company, which is Disney. Reportedly signed a deal with Disney in exchange for a charitable donation. It's January 11th. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, has reportedly signed a deal with Disney to do a voiceover in exchange for a contribution to wildlife charity of her choosing. So, we don't know if the entire donation goes towards. Nothing said if the entire amount, which doesn't seem disclosed right now, goes towards this charity, this wildlife charity. Some of it can actually be split and go to her. It's no different than when any agency or company that you go to says, for every pot you buy, let's say frying pan you buy, we'll donate $1 of that. Okay, so we don't really know. It's not being specified. So again, I don't see the transparency. The news, which was reported by UK papers, The Times, so maybe already the UK is already aware of this, and I'm in the United States getting the secondary, comes on the heels of the shocking announcement that the former Meghan Markle and her husband Prince Harry plan to step back as senior members of the British royal family. Now, when they say step back, it means other stuff. They quit or got fired. So let's scan a little bit. The couple hope to become I'm so tired of hearing the couple hope to become Whenever you see this, stop reading it because I feel like it's programming us to the general public. Whoever reads this, it's programming us to either believe that this is what it is or what have you. I for not for a minute per se believe that they wholeheartedly want to become financially independent because they don't want to be a burden. I believe they want to be financially independent so that they can get completely miles away from the UK and anything it stands for. And that is my personal opinion. And as I always say, these videos are for entertainment. They are my views on what's going on within the royal family, my opinions on Meghan Markle and Harry, and of course right now they've run with a bag of cash. Okay, Disney deal doing Megan has a Disney deal doing a voiceover in return for the donation to Elephants Without Borders, which supports wildlife conservation. The collaboration points to the couple's desire. Again, we're going to skip that because I'm just so annoyed to even read it, but you can certainly see that if you Google it. You can see it yourself. Megan has reportedly completed the voiceover work prior to the couple's Christmas in Canada, their Christmas holiday in Canada, where they spent time with Megan's mother. And believe me, if they spent time with Megan's mother, somebody somewhere would have taken a photo with their phone or seen them in passing. You know, unless they're going underground, they're traveling underground, like literally under the ground, someone had to see them. Somebody would see all their cars coming in because you know they're riding in Range Rovers, Land Rovers. Someone would see them in those black Range Rovers, excuse me, coming in. Or a family would be walking by and see them getting out of, a car. Or a person walking down the street would see them from a corner or driving by in their own car, and someone would snap a photo. Everyone has a cell phone. Even little kids have cell phones today. 8-year-olds have cell phones with cameras. So it's not feasible to me that Doria Raglan is, they have to be in a bunker somewhere and nobody is seeing them. And even then, somebody sees a brigade of, 5 to 10 cars flying by, or even if it's 3 cars or 2, black Range Rovers or Lexuses, or, they're always the same color and the same type of car, and they're always official. If someone sees that, it's either a funeral or someone really important. So I'm going to skip that. And it also states here that it says, this wouldn't be the first time Harry and Meghan have partnered with Disney in July. The couple attended the premiere of the Disney film, The Lion King. So The Lion King was a very political film, and it was made political by people like this, like Harry and Meghan. And I feel like The Lion King really is supposed to represent the African nations, where you actually find lions, and it teaches you about its culture and makes it fun, and it makes it cute and lovable, but it still imparts a feeling. However, when they do things like do premieres and then give exchanges for charitable this or that, and somebody's got a pat on the back and somebody's got money, when there's money exchanged in that manner, it kind of makes you wonder why Disney, which is supposed to be for warm-hearted, interesting, and compelling filming, to be partnering with political people. And then you don't associate the royal family per se deep in politics. And you certainly don't relate them to celebrity. So I feel like it diminishes the whole thing of Disney, not to little kids, but to the adults that obviously can distinguish what's going on. So when they did that, they had attended that premiere in support of Africa Park. So I guess they had to charge for walking down the aisle, the red carpet at the premiere. So they charged a fee, and that fee must have been in the form of some type of charitable donation. Again, we don't know so we don't know if there was a $2 million, for example, a $2 million, I don't know, charitable donation out of $5 million. Did you get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't see where the total amount was disclosed. Was it $3 million? Was it $450,000? And what part of that went to charity? Did it all go to the African parks? Nobody knows.
And when we say everything is donated and it's for the animals and it's for charity, everything seems to go often. I should back up a little bit. Most of the things that we see being reported seems like it's a lot about Africa. And that's good, but I don't see it benefiting the African people. I see that it's for animals, but how is it benefiting the African people? You know, it's good to represent the animals. I get confused by all these donations on a side note here, I get confused with all these donations for animals like elephants and lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. But seriously, I get a little confused by all that donating to African wildlife, because I don't know that I can't be clear to myself that it in some way benefits the people, the humans that live and work and have their whole entire life in Africa. And Africa is a very rich country. And there's also many parts of Africa. So I don't want to get into that. But the royal family does a lot of that. And I find it interesting because it's a very rich country. It's mineral rich. It has a great deal of diamonds and other gems that the world uses to produce materialism. And so we're all caught up in buying the beautiful, sparkly things that make us feel like we're happy, but do not lead to happiness, but feel. It has that essence of what we're all trying to attain is the beauty and love, and we look for it in materialistic things. And so Africa is full of these gems, these mineral rich things, and it just so happens Africa is part of the Commonwealth, which is a lot of other countries. But I will again say that Africa has been colonized by the British royals over a lifetime, over many, many, many lifetimes. So it's just another way to profit in the name of an animal, but not a human being. I love animals. I rescue animals. I have for all my life. It's just that I feel that I don't see a lot of giving to humans. And I know that Megan did a cookbook and all this stuff, and there has to be some trickle down effect to the people. But I feel it truly is a trickle down effect. Why can't we just donate $100,000 if you're wealthy to an agency and see it be benefited? Why do we have to have a contribution? Why do we have to have an exchange? Like, you pay me $50,000 to appear, and I will either donate all of it or part of it to the charity of my choice. Sure, it can be someone's choice, but why aren't we seeing that? Why aren't we seeing results from that? And why aren't the agencies that they're supposed to be getting all these donations, why aren't we seeing them benefiting and becoming bigger and better? Why does it always seem like it's one hand washes the other with these people? Okay, so I don't want to go into that article anymore, and I'm not going to be doing too long of a video, but I wanted to just look at some of this nonsense. I love that the fact that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's Madame Tussauds wax figures, let's see, have they been removed or put back? Because this is funny. Yeah, they really make, like, it's now officially part of history, and it's going to be part of the American and the British history, and I don't think anybody's proud. I know that this article here says President Trump speaks out on Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's royal split from the family, and he thinks it's sad. And he certainly doesn't really care for Meghan in terms of what we have seen him say before, that Meghan was nasty. When I first heard months and months back that President Trump had been quoted and been recorded as saying Meghan Markle is quote unquote nasty, it just, I thought that's who you're dealing with. President Trump has no filter. He has very little filter. And I think he also has very little decorum. Like, he doesn't even care. He has no ethics or very low ethics. I know that he must have some values. But in my opinion, I see that he has no filter. And as a president, I expect him to have a filter. I can say this, but I feel like the president of the United States, in the stature that he's at, the status that he is at, should not speak like a common person on the street unless he wants the world to think he's a common person on the street. I feel like it looks like his vocabulary is very limited. And so when he said had been quoted in the past as saying Meghan Markle was nasty, to me it did sound a little bit racist. He didn't need to add anything else to say about distinctly about her race per se. The fact that he knows that she is of a certain race, mixed race, that statement went out and it was just offensive on all the levels. So when he says, I think it's sad that they have split, it is sad, but I don't feel like it's sad because he thinks, aw, she or Harry were great together, or she is great. I think that he's just thinking sad as pathetic. Like, see, if he could be really rude and really disgusting, maybe he would say more. But that's Trump, and that's why he doesn't represent, most of the population of the United States. He has definitely fallen out of favor with anybody who has any ethnicity in them. He was never in favor, but he has fallen out of favor with many who thought he was so great. And I used to think that when Trump was elected, I was like, whoever was backing him in terms of the American people, the American person voting for him, I would think they expected that they voted like he was giving them a check in the mail or something. And when no check came in the mail, hypothetically, people started thinking, wow, he's nothing different than any other bureaucrat or acting like a bureaucrat, because I believe he's not even a bureaucrat. But so this report says he thinks it's sad, and it goes on to say that he has great respect for the Queen, and many people do across many different ethnicities and geographically. It doesn't matter. People just have respect for the Queen. She's just earned that respect. I don't feel this thing with Meghan is completely her fault, but I always wondered, what the heck? What the heck? How did she manage to get over on the Queen? And I just feel like the Queen is seemingly, from where I sit, always ready and able to handle many things. And one mixed race woman, mid-aged woman from the United States shouldn't have been any type of issue. So here's what I haven't heard. I've heard a lot about them stepping back and that same verbiage, but I have not heard anything from Harry. If anybody else has heard or any articles or watched any videos where Harry has made a statement, please let me know, because I feel like I'm missing it. It seems like to me this is a divorce. This is like, first it's like a breakaway, that's the focus, and then the actual divorce, the final, the actual divorce. I don't know if the finalized divorce, because nobody's really sure, but I think a divorce is coming up in the pipelines, and I am sad if it is true for Harry, because I think it's sad if you do this for the real and you end up in divorce. That's why I would be sad. If any of us have half a brain, we also understand a lot of these things that are politically motivated and are arranged are also, in a way, political. And if they're contract based, like a marriage is a contract, but if it's contract based, maybe it was arranged and he took a chance because he was 33 and maybe she was a mole. This is my opinion. I did say to somebody else in my own personal life, I said, I wonder if Megan was put in to kind of topple or shake things up. And I don't mean shake things up to modernize the royal family. I mean to shake it up, to break it up, to put a stick in the wheel. So was she placed as a mole? And is it on all levels understood? Wasn't a contract to do so? And now the contract is over. She could do the 2 years and get the heck out. Maybe it was a contract and it was for 5 years, but she can't do it. Maybe it's not a mole. Maybe she just is afraid, or she really doesn't want to live in the UK and support the values of the British citizens or the British monarchy. So I think that's all for today, because we know what these headlines are going to continually say, and I don't want to repeat and repeat and repeat, but I wanted to interject my opinion and thinking, A, could Meghan be a mole that was placed into the royal family to do some damage? Sounds a little I Spy, right? I don't think that she's a spy, but I think that she could have been hired, paid, and put into the royal family to divulge secrets. Like, it's really interesting how Meghan came into the family, and after a short while, like less than 2 years, I believe, she was there, and then all of a sudden, Andrew was X'd out of the royal family lineup, and not just the lineup, that his duties. He was like patron for, I don't know, a bunch of different boards and things he sat on. I want to say it was hundreds. So that struck me as odd, that knowing that what we heard is Meghan had journals and was taking notes, and the royal family, and that's on blindgossip.com. You can go check that out yourself. I don't have the link. I'm sorry. I have lost the link. But if you go to Blind Gossip and you look for like blindgossip.com / like Meghan and Harry, it should come up, or Meghan, it should come up, and you'll just read that article. It's kind of a little spin. And it is true that she had a diary or a journal, and she was keeping a catalog of everything she heard and saw, and they were family secrets through the grapevines or whatever her husband told her, then it would be interesting that Prince Andrew had this big leak, and it reverberated across the pond completely. So I found that interesting, the timing of that. And I really never thought that Prince Harry, with all the women that he has dated in the past that have been publicized, I never really saw him with someone like Meghan. First of all, definitely nobody of any other race. Okay. And I didn't ever see it coming for an American. So something is very odd that it's plucked out like that. And you can say that Meghan put herself in line. If you step back today, even better than a few months back, you could see that if you look back at the big picture, you can see that it's possible that she had a hardcore agenda to make it in front of his face. There's handlers. It seems like Jessica Mulroney might have been a handler. And Marcus, whatever his name is, could have been a handler. All people preparing. And all of a sudden, after Meghan did link up with Harry, suddenly she had been in the headlines as having quote unquote friends like Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres and President Obama. Like, before she had her name linked to Harry, President Obama never knew her. Like, you've never heard, I'm in the United States, you never heard President Obama saying her name once, ever, or Michelle Obama. And it just goes on and on and on. So I just feel like something just seems very forced or it's a facade. And that's all I have for today. I'm sure there'll be plenty of news coming up, even more as we go forward. But thank you for taking time to check out the Duchess of Unicorn YouTube channel. And I guess what's going to be really funny is that the last laugh of all this, the interesting twist, is that I hear or see or read that people in the United Kingdom are petitioning, or I should say the British people are petitioning for these two to lose their titles, which I, for one, based in America, agree with. I don't think you can be a private citizen, reap all the merch and all the donations that you're trying to get, and again I use the word donations very loosely, and still be a working royal for the good of the monarchy. I just don't see it, and I feel like they want the check that comes from the Duchy of Cornwall, but they want to be free to do all the merching they can possibly do. And I think it's really an unbelievable greed grab on the part of Miss Markle. And I feel like that whoever can take her title away, which I'm sure it's the Queen, I'm sure it's been discussed, and I don't know if it's written in concrete that she keep that title, but of all the royals who defect, in essence, from their duties or from the monarchy and want to do this private thing, should just either be 100% private and be totally stripped of their titles and not try to take the check that comes from the Duchy of Cornwall. All right, have a great evening and a great rest of your weekend, and I will be back. Bye.